could you keep going? Ignore the pain. I told you it was to trick you.
I told you.
Where are you going?
See,
There's nothing to follow. Come on.
Before she first met him, she was not in a good place. Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father's in-bell made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs. Errands out in the Orkney Plains. That was her world. Like this one. Barren and lonely.
Senua, there will be times that you will feel alone and exhausted, like a strange little fish swimming against the tides of the big ocean. But have the faith to let go and let the tide carry you away. Because the whole ocean is your home, and it does not ask you to swim against it.
Already disappeared.
Nothing lives here, not even you. It's in your mind. You think you can see it, but it's in your mind.
There's the tree.
There he was,
Where is he?
the lone figure of a boy.
He's there, under the tree.
Sword play under the shade of a tree.
See him.
There he is.
Come on, you have to.
She remembers the first time she saw him. To her young eyes, he moved as if dancing, and the world danced with him.
Where is he?
The gloom lifted.
Under the tree.
For the first time in years, she felt
You have to keep
a ray of hope.
The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day, Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigmund's touch. His brother-in-law, King Siggeir, wants it, but Sigmund refuses it. So King Siggeir plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast, but when they arrive, they are met with an army, not a warm welcome. King Siggeir captures Sigmund and his brothers, steals his coveted sword, and readies them for execution. Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. But to what end? Well, that night, when the she-wolf appears again, you'll never guess what happens.
Watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
As the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy, King Siggeir, believing him dead, as his sister plots revenge. And for vengeance to succeed, even the great Sigmund needs help. So she sends her sons to him. But their blood is weak and corrupted, and they're put to death by Sigmund. So his sister hatches a new plan, one that is cold of heart and pure of blood.
It's a trick. It's an illusion. It's not real. Different.
You want to believe it's real, but it's a trick. You're deluded. Where are you going?
Where is she going?
What is she following?
You can't even fight. It's just deception.
How does he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it, just like he does.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I'm not. I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zenua's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
Well, I watched you, and
You learnt all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dillian. I'm here for the warrior trials. Come and watch. And bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who's supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are.
You killed him.
But her world changed the day the Northmen took him from her. Senua knows that there's no going back to how things were. That there's nothing to go back to at all.
Stay still, stay quiet, hide, don't tell her.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy
They
you.
won't stop me. I can still feel him.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here,
No.
and all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Shut up! Dillian? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
That tree.
Can you see him?
You want to believe it.
Is he
It's
there?
not real.
Is he there?
You're alone in these mountains.
Is that Dillian?
Nothing lives here. You won't survive. You met him by the tree. She met him by the tree. Maybe it's a sign, the tree.
What's he trying to tell you?
He's waiting for you by the tree.
Sigmund's sister trades shapes with a sorceress, and in disguise, she lies with her own brother. She gives birth to a son named Sinfjotli. After a time, she sends him to the forest to Sigmund. He tests the boy and finds him strong and fearless, and so they go to take their vengeance on King Siggeir. But luck is not on their side. They're captured, and Siggeir has them buried alive. As Sigmund and Sinfjotli are being buried alive, Sigmund's sister throws an armful of straw into the grave mound. Hidden in the straw is Sigmund's sword, the gift of Odin. They cut their way out of the grave mound and set fire to Siggeir's hall. The king burns to death. Sigmund calls to his sister to come out so that she may live and be honored. She does come out, but only to tell him the truth. That she had slept with him, her brother, to beget a strong avenger. I am not fit to live, she says, and walks back into the fire. Strike vengeance from your heart, Senua, as there is always a heavy price to pay.
Imagine a sword that can slay gods. Its name is Gramr. It was forged by the god of all Northmen, Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said a great warrior can reforge Gramr by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the Tree of Death will take you to new lands, where you will face the trials.
Go to the shards. Go to the shard. Go to the shards. What's the shard? Find it.
It's the metal. Where is it?
Find it. There it is.
Focus.
Where's the shard? Focus.
Focus.
Use your eyes. Look.
Get closer.
What can you see?
Go to it.
I want to
It's
tell
not
you a
safe.
story about a god of the Northmen called Balder,
Come on.
the second son of Odin. He was beautiful, good, and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
What is it?
What does it see?
Careful, it's not safe. Trust us. is this?
It's the same.
Different.
It's another world. It's lighter.
It's nicer. I like it here. Can we stay? Let's stay here. It's safe here. It's calm here.
It's light here.
It's nice.
The bridge.
It's not broken.
It's fixed.
What happened?
The bridge is fixed.
Let's cross it.
The Northmen tell this story about the death of Balder. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Balder dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Balder's mother makes everything in the world: fire, water, iron, stone, earth, wood, beasts, birds, serpents, poison, sickness, swear an oath not to harm her son. One by one, they each make their vow. Neither weapons nor wood will injure him, Balder's mother boasts. Only Loki, father of Hela, the mistress of death, is not amused.
Dillion is in there.
Don't forget.
You can feel it. You need the runes to fight Dillion. You need Dillion. He's waiting for you.
He always said he would.
He's close.
He cares about you.
I feel he's close.
He loves you. She can't.
Open the gate.
It's locked.
Try harder.
She can't. Again, she can't. She can't. She will. She'll find a way. She can.
Go through it. It's dangerous.
Follow it.
What's behind the gate?
Where will it take you?
It's not safe.
Dillion.
There he is.
There he is.
What are you waiting for?
Quick, find a way.
Find him.
Go through.
Before he disappears.
Dillion, don't lose him.
Where is he?
Where's he going?
Whispering it. We're in the wrong world.
He's not here.
She's in the wrong world.
He's not in this world.
He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world.
the dark.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillion taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of colour stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Balder's mother, "Is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe?" "I did not ask the mistletoe," Balder's mother confesses. I thought it was too young. Oh dear.
Dillian saved you. Dillian cared for her like no one else has.
Dillian's the only reason she's still alive.
You can't go up
You
there.
can't go up
Not
there.
in this world.
Not in this world. You can't. Do you remember what it was to touch it? He was kind to her. What does it feel like to be in love?
He was the only one that really loved her.
He did love her.
Nobody will love her now.
Can you remember what love feels like? There's a huge cost. She destroys the thing she loves.
Kill things around us.
You kill the things that are most precious to you.
Dillian didn't deserve this. Why didn't she? She could have.
Your curse has claimed Dillian.
Poor Dillian. He didn't know he was kind. He didn't believe that she was cursed.
He saved you when everyone else turned their backs. Remember Dillian?
What do you remember?
Do you remember the sound of his voice?
Do you think she remembers him? The curse.
The darkness is swallowing you both.
She should have listened to her father.
Why didn't she listen to her father?
She thought she could defy him.
He led you astray.
You are guilty.
Was it worth it?
You had that loved her. You squashed it, strangled it.
The curse cannot be. Dillion undoes the curse.
What does it feel like to feel a love so strong?
We spend our lives searching for the meaning in life, and we ask the gods for guidance. But the truth to life is revealed when we can face death without fear. How can the gods understand us if they refuse to die themselves?
He was the only one she could trust.
Could she trust him?
Do you remember the smell of his neck? He was the only one who really loved her.
He did love her.
Do you remember the way he stroked your hair?
Do you remember the way he felt? Senua, do you remember the way he touched you?
Why isn't he here?
He's gone.
He's in the dark world.
He's gone to the dark world.
You're in the wrong world.
He's in the other world.
The dark world.
Without you. Dillion doesn't know who killed him, but we do. There's a way. Why didn't you listen to There is a way up there. She can do it. You're nearly there. Just find the way. Do you know? Was it worth it?
You're still alive and Dillian's dead. He doesn't deserve to be dead.
How does that make you feel?
Years had passed since she left her father. She trained hard alongside her friend, Dillian. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes, movement.
Look what happens to the things.
An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior. Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between two worlds. That of Zinbel and her past, and Dillian, her future. Two realities tearing at her soul.
You have no time for this. Speed because he believed in you. They've set you trials to distract you.
They've set you up, and now they're going to watch you fall.
What if these trials mean nothing?
It's laughing at you.
What if they take you no closer to Dillian?
About Dillian, and you're letting this get in the way.
What if they are just to tire you out, to make you weak before the battle? She thought she had light within her.
She is pure darkness. What if they're all about wasting your time, just delaying minute by minute by minute? What does she think she's doing? You're not special in a way that nobody else did.
They mean nothing.
Being special saved you from them.
Waste of time.
Could all be a waste of her time.
The gods are just toying.
Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Balder. The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking part. Huth says, I cannot see where Balder stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon. Loki replies, here is a wand. I will tell you where he stands. And Huth throws the mistletoe at Balder. It pierces through him, and to everyone's horror, Balder is killed. And for this, Huth is slain.
Do you remember meeting him beneath the tree?
You're cursed.
You're cursed.
It was cold.
You have no chance for love now.
Nobody will love you again.
Ever again. You can.
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Balder. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it into the sea, and sent for a giantess to do it. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her reins. She pushes Balder's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Balder's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief, and she dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. But even so, the gods cannot accept his death.
He saw that she was strong.
What if this is pointless?
What are you doing? Why did you think you could make this work?
You keep seeing runes. You see runes everywhere.
Everywhere.
What if they're not real?
What if they don't actually make sense?
They're a trick.
The gods were lying.
If you think it makes sense, but really the gods...
You